Well, hi. Hi, babies. How you been? Glad to see you here. This is a general message, so take what resonates, leave the rest, okay? We're out just here vibing and shit, okay? And so it begins. I have a feeling this is gonna be a tough love one. Just throwing that out there, so prepare your anus. Okay, so the first song I got was Doses and Mimosas by Cherub. Don't get me started, love. I've had too much to drink, had too much time to think, so leave me alone. Crying when you're by yourself, 'cause of what they think about you, makes time go slow. Something's gotta give soon, or I'm gonna lose it. Substance abusing and never coming down. Fall off the deep end and forget my English. What's the point of language if you don't say what you feel? So with that being said, to all the bitch ass hoes that hate me the most, oh yeah, I hate you too. To all the punk ass fucks that just wanna talk shit, I hate you too. To all the high class ass that's too hard to pass, oh yeah, I hate you too. Doses and mimosas, champagne and cocaine help me get through. 10 in the morning and I'm skipping breakfast and drinking a beverage to ignore it all. Guess ignorance is bliss, and I've come to embrace it. It's all overrated, except drugs and alcohol. So with that being said, to all the bitch ass hoes that hate me the most, oh yeah, I hate you too. Okay, so what I'm getting here, and it was very interesting because before I got on like shuffle, I was thinking about like people that may get they hold on to somebody because they think they're their twin flame or something, or their soulmate, whatever, and they're extremely toxic. Like, it is horrible, not healthy at all, in no way, shape, or form. And so these songs came on and I was like, fuck, okay. I'm not necessarily going to talk about the twin flame thing or anything of that sort, but we're going to have a little chat, all right? So what I'm getting from that song, the Cherub song, Doses and Mimosas, what are you doing? What addictions do you have? What crutch are you leaning on to avoid loneliness and feeling it and working through it? Because and I was also shown like holding on to friends because they're not, even though they're not good for you, it's because you don't want to like it's like your last friend, or your last somebody you talk to regularly, and you're just holding on to that even though you don't get anything out of the relationship. So and then they play these little games, they make you jump through hoops to prove yourself and all of this, but you still, and this, but you're avoiding loneliness. So you're like, okay, I just want somebody to still talk to. That's an addiction. That's something that needs to be looked at, because you're being, you have to talk to somebody. You have to, it's this fear of being completely alone. And like in the song, he's leaning on substances. And, that may be you, but that could also just be you leaning onto these people that aren't good for you, because like cocaine isn't good for you. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I mean, you can think whatever the fuck you want. It's not. I mean, you can make whatever you want to be good for you, but seeing the effects of it, I'm going to go ahead and say it's not good for you. That's my own opinion. So, what are you clinging on to people? Like, it may not be as bad and as toxic as others, so that's how you justify it. but who are you clinging on to? Who are you holding around? Like, it may be like you have good conversations and you can get on a deep level, but you have to jump through hoops for them. You have to prove yourself. And even though they may give some and it may feel like a good relationship, you are still giving more. And when they give, it's conditional. It's because they're, it's stuff you got to look at. Like, yeah, you're like, oh, well, they did this for me, but think about what their motive was. Oh, okay, they wanted something from me. Like, it was a transactional deed, if you will. And they might make you jump through hoops to like prove your loyalty and stuff like that, because they have a lot of control issues from trauma and they're not doing the work. They're not doing the emotional work. So who are you clinging on to because you're afraid of truly being isolated and alone? You're still wanting to talk to these people. What are these doses and mimosas that you're clinging on to when it's not good for you? And the next song I got was Crave Adventure Club remix by Flight Facilities and Adventure Club. Why can't you want me like the other boys do? They stare at me while I stare at you. Why can't you want me like the other boys do? It's true, I crave you. I walked into the room dripping in gold. I walked into the room dripping in gold. I'm trying not to read like because it repeats, those electronic songs. It's true, I crave you. Why can't you want me? Can't you want me? Why can't you want me? Let's just stop and think before I lose faith. A wave of heads turn. Okay, I walked into the room dripping in gold. A wave of heads turn, or so I've been told. My heart broke when I saw you kept your gaze controlled. Oh, I cannot solve. Why can't you want me like the other boys do? They stare at me while I crave you. So this is like, you might have this like wounding that you're still holding on to like prove your worth, but it's so insidious with these people. Because it's easy to realize like when you're like experiencing like heavy abuse, and but there's this insidious like friendships where there's just this distance, and you like and you just feel it. There's no deeper connection. And since you are raising in vibration and you're realizing like your worth, that's going to block you. As you keep going, if you keep holding on to these people, that's going to block you because you're operating out of a wounding. So you may want to keep this person around because it's almost like that runner-chaser dynamic. It's so insidious and in minimal that you don't realize it. You're like, well, they do this for me. They reach out to me. They reach out a lot to me. But there's something there. There's a disconnect. It's all superficial. And, I guarantee if you look back at their behavior, it's always been transactional if they ever did anything for you. And it was always like this coldness, say like you have a great time with them and like, or, they share something very vulnerable with you and they just shut down, they like go ghost for, however long. And this could be friends, family, whatever the fuck. But I'm asking you this because you might be operating out of this, you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to be like, if no one's doing, okay, if a person's not doing anything for me, I'm not going to chase them. But there's people out there that are very insidious, and it's, a different connection. So like a friendship, family member, that you don't see it the same way, even though you're still overgiving, you're putting yourself out there vulnerability wise, emotionally, whatever, you're putting your money into it, you're doing legwork for them, but what are they doing for you? And, are they listening when you have grievances and, things to, you're always there to be like, hey, how you doing? And you're genuinely listening. Are these people genuinely listening, or do they have to cut it off because it gets too real? It gets too uncomfortable for them, because you got to check these people around you. Where are they at with their emotional maturity? And why are you holding on to them still? You know, it might just be one of those things where, you know, you're like, you could say like, hey, you know, until something shifts in our dynamic, like, you know, you can match me where I'm at. I don't think we should be interacting with each other, because I'm giving this and I feel that we're on different levels, you know, whatever it needs to be. But there's something that needs to be observed, because that is holding you back energetically. There is something, you know, if you're like, where the fuck are my blessings? What, you know, like, I know my manifestation is coming in. Where the fuck is it? And it might be something that you have to release first. And that might be this friend, this family member, this lover, whatever, take it as it resonates. You know, they're there for you, they show up, but it's always transactional. And it's so insidious, so light. Like, there's not, you know, there's no malice between you two. There's no like obvious like crunchy contrast, like friction. There's none of that. So it's easy to overlook that stuff. But you're not getting this this matched emotional maturity. You're not getting this, you know, because they're still operating, well, they need to prove themselves to me. And so, you know, you find yourself like having to jump through hoops to prove yourself. And what is this for? What? You know, especially if you have a good heart, you're like, okay, you know what? I've been there. I've made people do that. And I'm here to, you know, show like there are good-hearted people. But if nothing has shifted from that, like, you know, you showing up authentically and being vulnerable and like trying to be a leader in the relationship. I saw 12:12 on the clock. That might be significant to you, whatever. If they're, you know, because I could easily understand like wanting to show up authentically for someone and trying to be a leader in the relationship, you know, so you're like, okay, you know what, I'm here for you. I'm a different person. Like, you know, you may have been hurt, like, which I totally understand. But what has anything changed since then? Or are they still making you jump through the hoops? Like, oh, maybe they have shifted a little bit and they, you know, they reach out, they give me a little more of this vulnerability or whatever you know, they show a little more emotional maturity. But it's not enough. You're still getting breadcrumbed. So, you know, at some point you gotta just walk away, because that is holding you back, because you're still continuing the cycle. Yes, they may have done just a little bit of work, but they don't want to do the hard, heavy shit. The hard, heavy shit that you've done. So, if you're wondering why, like, okay, why hasn't this manifestation come in? Why aren't things moving? Like, why does it still feel like there's some stagnancy? It's this. It's because you're fucking holding on to this. You're holding on to, you're operating out of this wounding, one, maybe, and you still just need to let that go. Like, you may have done good and like walked away from like, you know, really obvious abusive people, and you're like, no, never again. No, but there's all of these insidious connections, that were, and they may not be abusive to you or anything, it's just cold. And there's nothing deeper than what face value is. Because they just don't have that ability to be on your level, be at that level. They haven't done the work yet. And so who are, you know, you're surrounding yourself with these lower vibrational people. Yes, they may be mature in other ways, and, you know, they have their shit together, whatever, but there's still something that they have to work on, that you're just not on the same level. And you're still holding on to them and they're not wanting to grow, so it's holding you back. It's got you locked in because you're still pouring your energy into this person, and it's taking, there's no give and take, there's no growing. And maybe it is a lesson to, like, see, be in it, and then see if you can get out of it and spot the stuff, spot the signs of like emotional immaturity, and like just that it's so insidious, it's so low level that you don't catch it. And this is, the test to see, like, are you really gonna fucking do something, or are you just gonna stay at this vibration because you're holding on to this? Why are you chasing this person? Why are you still, reaching out to this person, however it resonates, doing things for them when they don't give anything in return? They don't match you energetically. And that's holding you back. That's holding back that, your blessings, you're moving forward, you feel that there's another step to come, and it's not quite there. You're like, what the fuck? Why is this taking so long? Like, I got rid of everything. You're choosing, for one, not to see that you have to get rid of something still. You're like, I've gotten rid of everything. What the fuck? You're still interacting with some lower vibrational things. Whether that's a person, whatever, some sort of addiction you have that just isn't good for you. Something that's holding you back. And it might just be that you have this unconscious fear of like truly being alone. Truly being just completely isolated, no one to, because I could see, say you cut these people off or whatever, and you're like, well, who's gonna come pull me out of a ditch in the middle of the night? Like, that's a fear. There's other options out of this. Are you just, and that, by you holding on to that, is transactional and low vibration, because you're like, well, I'm just gonna use them for what they can do for me. So, obviously people have to fucking talk to the parent of their children, so that's kind of different. But, how are you still allowing your energy to be sapped by these people? And why are you still clinging to something that doesn't serve you anymore? You might, a good example would be like, okay, so we go on this trip every year. We're not really close, and like it feels weird and distant every time, but we go on this cruise ship or whatever the fuck, and it's great. Like, I have someone to go with. But your relationship isn't anything besides that. It's like, well, we've just done this forever, and there's nothing there. And since you are raising in vibration and doing the work, that's going to become more and more apparent. Like, okay, we are not on the fucking same level here. We are definitely not. And something needs to shift. And you gotta check yourself and be like, are you just holding on to this person because it's like what you get out of it? And that's like a low vibrational thing, like, wanting to use somebody instead of just enjoying their company. And that's a big sign that they're not good for you. You don't get enough. You're not getting what you deserve out of the connection. And it sucks. I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna say like, oh, this shit's easy. Like, you gotta cut these fuckers off. Like, slice and dice, baby. Like, it sucks because you don't, like, you're like, you like fight with yourself. You're like, oh, well, we did have a good time. Like, we went on that vacation together. Like, we have, but you're still not getting 100%. You don't have to get 100% out of it, but they're slowly becoming this like distance further and further because you're raising in vibration and they're not doing that work. They're, leaning on you to, do 80% of it, and, they'll tiptoe 20% towards your way. And that's how it's been. You've allowed that. So they're just accustomed to, I don't have to fucking do this. Like, they're going to reach out to me. I get my free therapist out of them. Like, I get to bitch and moan to them. And then I just cut, cut them off as soon as they start, you know, trying to get something from me, or, you know, they start talking about something that's uncomfortable for me, and I just, you know, I gotta go, you know, whatever it is. So that's, you've also allowed that because you are still here, you're still showing up, and you're still giving your energy. It fucking sucks. I'm gonna be real. It sucks. It sucks because you're like, bro, I don't want to cut everyone off. What the fuck? Our connection isn't that bad. Our connection isn't like toxic or anything. But you're still getting held back and your energy is being sapped. I'm right there with you, y'all. It sucks. It fucking sucks. But I did have some cards. I'm gonna try and use all oracle cards just to see, you know, get my little intuition flexing. Try something different. And I was shuffling this deck, and it was a flipped card before I even like fucked around with the deck. So we have unknown gift. So this, to me, especially with like the little bird like saying some shit, this is telling me that your willingness to let go of even, you know, these final scragglers that you got, the final, and you willing to like say like, hey, you know, this is where I'm at. I need somebody that's going to show up for me, and we don't have the same goals right now. You don't want to do the work, and you know, my spirituality, my growth, all of this shit is so important to me. And by you expressing that authentically and like putting this boundary up of like, I don't think this is working out. Like, I'm not getting what I need out of this. And I feel that it's not good for us both right now, because, you know, you're being taught that you can lean on people and not do the work. And I'm like, you know, sapping my energy and draining my energy. And I'm also in this like transactional approach instead of just enjoying your presence. And with that, like, that's going to, your willingness to step away and, you know, fight these like cravings of like, oh, I still need a friend. Like, I don't want to be alone. I still want to be able to reach out to somebody. Or, you know, I have this fear of like, oh, if I need something in the middle of the night, whatever the fuck. Getting past that fear is going to bring in your shit, you know, and that could be, you get another like spiritual gift also, especially since this is like unknown gift. But I'm seeing that as like, Most High is going to like, be like, yes, you did your job, fuck yeah, like next day, or like after you hang up the phone call, like you just happen to run into a person at the library or, you know, the store, and they're just like, hey, are you into this, you know, whatever. Like, you're going to get this unknown gift, this little surprise, as soon as you're willing to let this fucking go. Because your test is to face that fear, face the true emptiness of letting these last scragglers go that aren't serving you. All right, eternal center, guru, protection, peace. There is a place within me, still, calm, steady, and eternal. And just with this, like, I'm seeing this as you will be able to be more centered once you commit to listening to your intuition, being obedient, and, you know, not allowing these lower vibrational scragglers in your life, you know, as you have been because of your fear of being alone or not having support in something. And that's going to bring, like, as soon as you do it, yes, you're going to be like, oh, fuck, did I do it? Like, that fear is going to hit because you're like, I don't want to cut this person off. Like, what if I just say I apologize and be like, you know, you like backstep or whatever. If you fight through that that addiction, that clinging on, that craving of needing like camaraderie or whatever you're getting out of it, if you fight through that drive to be like, oh, you know what, let's work this out, let's I'll help you with your process, I'll help you with your growth, you're gonna fall right back into that pattern. So you're gonna have to fight through that. It's going to be very uncomfortable, you know, because you're like, that's true, like you getting in that true isolated, standing alone. But once you're in that, you're going to enjoy it. It may take a few days. I don't fucking know. I don't know where you're at with, you know, the grieving process and all of that. Or it might just be immediately, like you just feel this like weight lifted off of you. But you're going to get into your center and you're going to enjoy and be comfortable and safe in that aloneness. You're going to feel that change in vibration as soon as you let it go. And it may, like I said, it may be like you have to grieve it and like, what I'm getting, because it's, you know, all these songs about like addiction and craving, you have to like work through the like you know, alcoholics, and they can, if they're like really hardcore, you know, they have to get like medicine and stuff to like work through the detox like symptoms. And that might just be what you need to do, is like, you know, you have to I don't know, you get like, go do something, start a fucking hobby or something, go, but it has to be you being alone, because you're otherwise you just falling back on somebody else that you just meet, and like clinging to them. That's not going to help you grow and be okay with this true isolation. And we have nice liberation, free spirit, wild, authentic, just let me be. So that's going to liberate you, help you raise in vibration. And you know, like true, like actual freedom can be fucking scary, because you know, you have full responsibility, you have full authority. And you know, us as humans, we've never truly experienced that, because we always had a parent telling us something to do, like how to live, a teacher, a boss, you know, whatever. You're always used to this like, oh, or you know, family members like trying to tell you like what choices to make, friends, whatever. By you separating yourself from that and truly like standing tall by your fucking self, that is true liberation, that's true freedom. But it's going to be fucking scary, because you're like, I don't know what to do. Who do I call? Who do I talk to? Talk to fucking Most High. Talk to your angels. Talk to, you know, whatever you believe in, universe, whatever. Get that connection deeper. Your fucking higher self, get that connection deeper, and you know, truly embrace that true freedom, because then you have full authority, sovereignty over yourself. And that's freaky. It's a freaky feeling, because you know, you're always used to being like told, sign everywhere, sign, like you're being told like all the time, like people are like, go do this, go do that, you should do this, why are you marrying this person, you know, weird shit like that. When you have full authority and you listen to your intuition, your higher self only, and you know, you don't like use other people as a you know, like a soundboard, or like, you know, something to like get, you know, reassurance or something. That's you completely trusting yourself, and not like getting that like, oh yeah, you're doing the right thing, oh yes, I agree, or oh, you shouldn't do that, like that sounds like a bad idea. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like you fully trusting yourself, that's like hella freedom. Like that is like, no one can fuck with you. Not as you completely trusting yourself and only depending on yourself by making these decisions going forward and having that true freedom and sovereignty over yourself. No one can even manipulate you, move you in any sort of way, because you're like, no, I completely trust myself. Fuck your opinion, fuck your, you know, whatever the fuck you're trying to do, like control tactics, that's not gonna work on me. I listen to myself only. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. That which is true will always be enough. Truth, honor, empress, integrity. So, I guess I'll show you the card. I'm seeing this especially because, like, it makes me think of those, like, catch me in the mountains, or I'd rather be on an adventure, like, bumper stickers or whatever. So, like, that is you being willing to, like, ride off into the sunset by yourself. Be like, that is true fucking freedom. Like, going off by yourself, not depending on anyone. I'm not saying there's something wrong with, you know, community is fucking great, but if it's the people that aren't good for you and you're just doing a ton of work, or they're not matching you energetically and they're holding you back, or you have this addiction to this runner, like, subtle runner chaser dynamic, that's not serving you, because you're still operating out of a wounding, that fear of being alone, that fear of true freedom, basically, as crazy as it sounds, because you think you would want that, but something is holding you back because you've never truly experienced that. And so, you know, your willingness to step out alone, right out into the sunset, right into this adventure on your own, will bring you these fucking blessings. You're like, dude, where are they at? Come on, I'm doing the work, what the fuck? It's because you're still operating out of a lower vibration in regards to connections, or, you know, holding on to something that it really isn't good for you. It's holding you back, or you're putting too much in yourself. Obviously, use your own discernment, but there's something to investigate there. Yes, bitch. Yeah, let's do these. My little brain skull cards, my rainbow brain. Oh, at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Trying to make room here. Bear with me, people. Okay. But yeah. It does suck, especially, like, catching. It's going to be a weird feeling, like, realizing, like, damn, this has been, like, insidious, like, not good for me. Like, how did I not see this? You know, once you actually, like, accept it and, like, are willing to walk away or whatever, you're gonna be like, damn, I thought I had, like, you know, I was good at catching this shit, but why was I? Don't beat yourself up for whatever reason. You were operating out of something that you needed to release, and it was just, you know, we all have programming. We all have, like, karmic tendencies. You know, there's all some shit that we need to undo. And that was just not serving you, but it was an addiction because it was feeding a wound inside of you. All right. Anything else, my babies? Thank you. Okay. Oh, shit. This deck is coming for blood. Just make a decision already so the story can move forward. How fucking perfect. Damn. Just make a fucking decision already, damn it. You know what you need to fucking do, so you can move fucking forward. Are you gonna choose going back into this karmic cycle to attempt to learn the lesson again, or are you just gonna move on, bro? Like, fucking your choice, but you need to make a damn move. Yes, okay. I hereby grant you the power to make me unhappy. So this is what you're choosing, you know, to hang on to. This is, you know, that, like, clinging. And it's also, like, how you're choosing to deal with, you know, needing to let somebody go. Be like, fuck, like, this sucks. Like, grieve it. Yes, feel the emotions. But you're also, by clinging and you know, holding on to it, is allowing, you know, it's keeping you in a lower vibration, holding you back, and it's making you unhappy. It's not good for you. There's something, you know, because you're like, well, where's my fucking abundance? Where's my blessing? Where's this? Because you're holding on to this. You're allowing this to make you unhappy. It's okay. You're not supposed to be doing anything right now. So this is telling me like, maybe once you realize like who this person is or whatever, like you're realizing the subtle, like just not the lower vibrational interactions that you're having, sit with it. But at some point you're gonna have to make a decision. And I'm also seeing this as like, maybe once you let this go, you don't have to like go do something. You don't have to like, you can just sit with it and grieve what you've lost, and just, you don't have to go, oh, I need to go reach out to somebody, or I need to go meet people, I need to do this, I need to do that. Just fucking sit with it. You don't have to like stress out, like, and take your time. If you need to, take your time on you know, exiting these relationships, these connections, or the dynamic, allowing that dynamic, you know, take your time, whatever, however long you need. But you know, the longer you wait, the longer you're gonna have to wait for your abundance and blessings. We all have free will. Do what you will with that. Interesting. And how you know that's what you want exactly. This also is a good question to ask yourself, like, there might be like, oh shit, okay, never mind, I'm getting it. This is you like, do you really want this connection? How do you know this is what you want? Like, is it, you're just operating out of this like lower vibrational thing? It's like an addiction. Is it just like, or is it just this habit you've created? You know, it's a good, you know, be like, do I actually want this connection? Am I being transactional with this? Like, am I just using them because they, like, I know they would get me in the middle of the night, you know, out of a ditch. But, you know, there's nothing else besides that weird transactional stuff. Is that really something you want? Or are you using them? Be real with yourself. Is this actually something you want? No decisions, just grooving. You might be wanting to sit in this. I have a feeling this is where you've been sitting. You gotta look at yourself. You gotta look at where you're at. What are you agreeing to? What are you... Because I'm seeing this as like, you're not moving forward if you're choosing to allow this. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, you're going to feel this agitation. And, you know, impatience, because, you know, you're like, well, where's my blessings? Where's this? Where's that? Why can't I feel like tapped. It's because you're not making a fucking move. So, I mean, it's on you. If you like where you're at and you want to stay there, then do it. But in order to, you know, keep things moving, you got to make choices and move forward. You got to let the shit fall off to make room for new things. Never leave it blank. Make something stupid, throw it in the vault. I'm seeing this as like, if you have this fear to like let this go, or, you know, say the wrong thing, or like, how do I say it? Just fucking do it. You know, if you fuck up, you fuck up. You can apologize for your, you know, if you say something awful, and, you know, like, hey, I shouldn't have been that harsh, like, I apologize. But if you've never done this before, there's only one way. You got to fuck around and find out. You got to try something. You got to put yourself out there. You got to be like, all right, look, this is gonna sound weird, but like, you know, there's nothing really wrong with you and I. Like, it's not like we fight or anything like this. This just isn't working for me. However that needs to happen. So don't be scared. Just do it. This is just a new level of, you know, of mastery you're going to meet, is like ending connections that aren't really, they're not bad. Like, you're not like hurt or anything like that, but it's just not serving you. It's not healthy. You're just not on the same level. Like, it's not me, it's you, it's not me. Like, whatever the fuck. I totally said that wrong, but you get what I'm saying. You know, you're used to like these like awful people, and you're like, you stole from me, whatever, like, fuck you. Like, And it's not a bad connection. It's just not right for you anymore. And it might be weird because it's like friends or family. And you're like, ah, fuck, how do I do this? You're just going to have to put yourself out there and do it. And learn from that. You know, and by you listening to yourself and your own inner guidance, that's going to help you raise in vibration and get more sovereignty, more freedom. Okay, babies, that's really all I got. I love you, and keep doing this hard-ass work. I know it's tough, but you're all beasts for doing it, and I'm super proud of you. Have a great day, babies. Bye.